I'm Hunter.
I'm Tino. We're here to drop our hot takes about the amusement industry.
You're listening to the Sweet Seat Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 4 of the Sweet Seat Podcast. My name is Hunter.
I am Tino.
And this is the Sweet Seat Podcast. This is where you go for your not so sugar-coated opinions about the amusement industry and roller coasters and all that good stuff. So, before we get started, let's just say that we are super excited to bring this episode to you because we have some great topics ahead. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram at _thesweetseat_, and follow us on Facebook as well because we got a lot of good stuff going on there. And of course, the YouTube channel. Hopefully you're watching this.
Yes.
I feel like that's the best place to get the full experience of the Sweet Seat podcast is by watching us on YouTube. But if you listen, we're not complaining. Everyone has their own ways of doing things.
We're happy to have you either way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're happy to have you. We're welcoming, open arms, right? So,
Yes.
so let's get into it. We're going to start off with, as per usual, our Runaway Ramble. And
You know what? I think I'd like to start.
okay, go ahead.
Hey Hunter, how was Six Flags Great Adventure?
I honestly have no good words that I could say on air right now.
So, just to give our viewers a little bit of context, Six Flags Great Adventure opened for the season actually the same day Hersheypark did. I believe it was April 1st, right?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was the exact same day.
I did not go opening day, but if you watched episode 3, which if you haven't, you should go watch that.
Yes.
I mentioned towards the end while we were doing our sweet spots and bitter takes that I was going to go to Six Flags the next day after we recorded with some of my friends. And I was super excited. And I'm going to tell you guys how it went because it sucked. It was terrible.
We weren't kidding when we said it wasn't going to be sugar-coated.
Oh, no. This is not a lie, okay? We don't lie on here. We are absolutely bare to the bones, okay?
Yes.
So, living in the Hershey area, it's about, I think it's about 2.5 hours. That's what it is. It took us quite a while to get there. Our plan was not to get there at opening, actually, because I don't know. We just didn't want to, really. There was no need to. We've been to Six Flags Great Adventure before, so it wasn't like we needed the full day experience, right? It took a while because we needed to go to the bathroom a few times, and I don't know why, but in eastern Pennsylvania near Philly, gas stations, y'all, where are your bathrooms? Add bathrooms to your gas station because if you need to piss, where are you going to go?
Wait. So did you encounter gas stations without bathrooms?
Yes.
We
went to like 3 or 4 Wawas that had no bathrooms.
Wawas of all places, really?
Yes, and they had no gas pumps either.
It was just more like the convenience store.
Yes, but there was. I think there was one that we went to that had the gas pumps as well, but no bathrooms whatsoever. So I don't know what the fuck is going on there, but Eastern Pennsylvania, get your shit together literally with your bathrooms. Anyways, that's its own little thing. But we did eventually get there. Because we work at the park, we do have an incentive to go to a bunch of other parks for free. Six Flags Great Adventure is one of those parks, so we got to go there for free, which was super awesome considering that when we did go to redeem our free tickets, we had to go to guest services for that. We waited about maybe, I'd say 20 to 30 minutes just to redeem our tickets. There were 2 windows open. Fine, whatever. That's its own thing. Then we get in line. It's 1:00 then. We get in line to get into the park. At 1:00, the park opened at 10:30. They've been open for 2.5 hours, and they have a line going into the park. It took us 30 to 40 minutes to get into the park. That's wild. That's crazy.
That is a long time.
And it turns out that it's because of season pass holders. So whenever season pass holders enter the park, they have to get a picture taken of them. And for some reason, it seems like nobody knows what they're doing up at the front gate. And so it's taking like a minute or more per person that has a season pass, which, if you're going in the middle of the day, most of the time, those are season pass holders exclusively. So it took forever to get in. It was terrible.
I'm wondering if that process was more for guests like season pass holders who were visiting for their first time, and so they just need to get their picture taken like for their pass.
But why would you do that at the front gate? You know,
Some parks do that.
I think that's stupid.
If you ever visit like a Cedar Fair park with a season pass, that's how they'll actually do it for your first visit.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so they'll actually have like the platinum and gold passes like sitting right up at the front gate, and you'll show them the voucher that you got whenever you made your purchase. They'll scan that. They'll quickly scan like one of their gold or platinum passes, whatever you get, and
Yeah.
then they'll quickly take your picture and you'll be on your way.
That's dumb.
It takes maybe like 25 seconds, honestly.
Okay, well, that's what it should take.
Yeah, it's very, very
if you
quick.
decide to do that, but
Yeah.
I don't think that they should be doing it to begin with. That should be its own separate, like,
Yeah.
that should not be at the front gate because you're holding everybody else up and it's becoming an inconvenience for people like me. Or if you had a daily ticket, like, and you just
Yeah.
bought admission, that's a completely different story because then you're waiting and you're wasting time.
Yes.
So that was a whole nother deal. Then we get into the park and it's not necessarily crowded. However, it is crowded because half the rides are closed. And this is like a good month, not a month.
No, you're a
A
couple
good
weeks in.
3 weeks into the season, okay? Just like I said in episode 3, Medusa, Nitro, Batman the Ride, what else? Oh,
Runaway Mine Train, I believe, right?
Runaway Mine Train, and El Toro, of course. Those were all closed when I went. And so that's a lot of the major attractions that are in your park that should be open. Maybe not all of them, but like those
That's a
are
lot of them.
those are
Yeah.
all big coasters, except for Runaway Mine Train, but you know.
Oh, no, that's a great ride.
It's still a
Don't
bop.
diss
It's
it.
still a bop,
Yes.
okay?
But, I think, thinking about how off-season maintenance works, you think, okay, you have a lot of rides closed right now.
Yeah.
Okay. That must mean, though, for what is open, at least those are running, and they're probably running with pretty good capacity.
Right.
Right?
No, that's not the case because I guess Six Flags Great Adventure wants to fuck everyone over. Shout out to the new CEO, whatever the fuck his name is.
It is. I literally wrote this down because I had a feeling we were gonna need this. CEO of the whole corporation is what? Salim Basol? Salim.
I know
A.
it's definitely
Basol?
Salim, but I'm gonna trust you on Basol.
I might have said that completely incorrectly. Out of respect for you, buddy, I'm sorry.
But also
still.
disrespectfully, fuck you because you're ruining Six Flags Great Adventure. It's a good park. It can be a good park,
Really can
but
be.
like those trains need to be on the track.
Yeah.
For pretty much every single coaster besides Joker, there was one train.
Joker had two at least?
It had at least 2.
That's
I didn't go on Joker though. But that brings me to my next point. I only went on two rides because of how terrible the experience was. The first thing that we went to was Zumanjaro. There was no wait because it's Zumanjaro, and I feel like I've never, ever had to wait for that ride. If anybody is watching that is from like the New Jersey area and Six Flags Great Adventure is your home park, maybe you can confirm in the comments or something that like for whatever reason that it never has a line.
Well, it's so far away. It's so tucked
It
away in
is.
that corner there. Nobody wants to walk back there.
But it's worth it. It's such an awesome drop tower. Great ride.
Out of curiosity, how many of the towers were running?
All 3.
All 3.
Yes.
Okay, that's nice.
And this was one good thing. When we rode, King Ka went by as we were going up.
Yes.
Which shout out to Leandra. She's one of my friends who went on this trip. She's deathly afraid of heights. And so of all the drop towers that she could go on, she went on the tallest. It's the tallest in the world, right?
I want to say
think so.
so.
Someone's going to rip me to shreds if I'm wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure it is.
If it's not the tallest, it's one of the tallest.
Yes, for sure.
Yes.
She, as we're going down, she goes, I'm hugging myself because she was so scared.
You have a vest restraint, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not a vest. It's like Sky Rush. It goes, it's like a very open shoulder, like over the shoulder restraint where it comes way out. Like it does not touch your shoulders. It's not meant to, but it still goes up and around, but it's mainly a lap bar.
Okay. So it's more like, that would make sense.
It's literally, it looks like Sky Rush really, but just a little bit, like little nuanced differences.
Yeah.
Anyways, we went on that and that was great. Great ride, whatever. And then we went on the only other ride that we went on when we were there, and that was Skull Mountain, which is, in my opinion, it's a great family coaster.
It's one of my favorites from when I was a kid.
If you sit in the back in that first drop, oh my God, you're going to die. That thing literally gives you ejector airtime going over the first hill.
Does it?
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know if I've been in the back before.
It's actually kind of a steep, like for a family coaster, it's kind of a steep first drop in my opinion. Maybe it's because it's indoors and I can't see shit. But
there aren't many of those around, like the indoor family coasters, at least that I'm aware of. I believe there is one at another Six Flags park.
Isn't it Runaway Mountain at Six Flags Over Texas?
I think that's it.
The only reason I know this is because of Roller Coaster Tycoon 2.
Did you play the scenarios as a kid?
Oh, I always played the real parks.
Okay.
Yeah, so I always did all 5 of the Six Flags parks. I don't know why
I like the default ones. I played Bumblebee Beach a lot.
Bumblebee Beach?
I love the beach park. That was a great vibe.
I have a realistic version of Bumblebee Beach on my phone, actually. I made it look really good. Anyways, this is very off topic. We're doing our thing where we get off topic again.
Hey, it's a Runaway Ramble. That's
it is.
Fine.
It is a Runaway Ramble. But
anyways, yes.
We waited an hour for Runaway Mine Train. Or not Runaway Mine Train. My God. For Skull Mountain. We waited an hour. And while we waited in the line, the clientele were terrible. The guests are absolutely obnoxious. Like, there were at least like 2 or 3 groups that cut in front of everybody. Which leads me to my point. When we actually did get on the train, we didn't get dispatched until like 15 to 20 minutes later. Because, and I don't think I told you this. So this is your first time hearing about this. Because there was a group towards the back of the train that got on, and I noticed them because they had cut in front of everybody.
Okay.
And they claimed, as they were cutting through everybody in the line, that they had somebody else in line that they were going to meet with them, which wasn't the case, it turns out. So there was a man who saw these people do this, and he like got the attention of one of the ride operators about it, and it turned into some huge altercation that eventually security had to get called, and so they showed up to the ride, and they took honestly an obnoxious amount of time to just get this family off. They weren't interacting with them. They were kind of just like not knowing what to do in the situation, which, I mean, everybody in the station is frustrated because they're holding up the operations and they all know that this family cut in line.
Did they make any sort of announcement in the queue line? Like
no, there was
no
communication from any of the ride operators to the guests in line or the guests even in the station at all. Everyone just had to witness it to see what was going on.
Yeah, imagine being in that line. You're waiting inside for Skull Mountain. You have no sense of, your surroundings outside or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't know why or what's going on. I imagine you only have one train.
It was one train.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. You have a line that's not moving all of a sudden. Yeah, you have people cutting in front of you.
Yes.
That's a horrible experience.
This entire experience, you can kind of see how it's piecing together just to be like extremely frustrating for me and the other people that I was with as well. It was very frustrating for all of us. So after we got on, we all agreed we're not even bothering going to any of the other rides. We didn't even look at Jersey Devil Coaster. We just left because we were just so over it. The mixture of the clientele and the service we were getting from Six Flags Great Adventure was terrible that we just opted to leave instead. And I was very excited to ride Superman, which had a long line because there were no rides open. So I know it gets a long line to begin with, but they were also running one train. All the other rides were closed and stuff. So I didn't get to ride that for like the second trip there in a row, which really disappoints me. But you know what? I'm sure there'll be another time that I go. However, I don't think I'm going to be going there for a very long time because I just remember leaving and feeling so upset, like beyond frustrated, that we spent all this time traveling out to the park for an experience like that. I can't imagine what it's like for people who paid to go to the park.
For a day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Parking there, by the way, for general parking is like $40.
40.
40 bucks. That's ridiculous.
Surprisingly enough, it is on par with, I believe, what Busch Gardens charges for their parking.
Really?
But again,
do they have cheaper tickets though? In turn,
what, Busch Gardens?
Yeah,
Busch Gardens tickets are like in the 100 mark.
Really?
Now, at least the last time I checked.
Oh my God.
I think it might be more like 80, 90. I'm don't quote me on that, but I remember checking when we were planning our Florida trip. They were pretty steep.
That's crazy.
Okay, but nonetheless, though, you can't justify a $40 price tag for parking at a Six Flags park.
Correct.
The experience you are getting at a Six Flags park is not even comparable to like Busch Gardens.
Right.
It's not.
It's not.
So,
But that kind of transitions into what we want to talk about a little bit with our Chocolatetown Chat,
Yes.
which is how do we think Hersheypark prepared for their season compared to at least how I experienced with Six Flags? Because I went to both Hersheypark and Six Flags within a week of each other.
yeah.
So I can compare them pretty well, right? Hersheypark did incredibly better. Incredibly. Yeah, at first they may not have had all of their coasters open for opening weekend. Some of those being
Great
Great Bear was probably the most notable one.
Yeah.
Storm Runner didn't open for a little bit as well.
Did it? I thought it eventually did.
I don't know. I don't think it opened for opening day.
It might have not. I'm not 100% sure.
There was at least some delays with it, right?
So keep in mind, our perspective's a little bit skewed because we actually both worked on opening day.
Yes.
So we were only aware of basically what was going on at our specific
attractions.
I can confirm Skyrush did have 2 trains to open.
Right, which
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yes.
Especially compared to Six Flags.
I was so excited when I saw that. Man, we love having...
Fahrenheit had 2 trains.
Yes.
Almost all of the attractions that were open had 2 trains. The ones
Lightning
that,
Racer had all 4 ready.
Yes.
That was amazing
which
to
is
see.
kind of crazy because you often see when they are kind of not in their main summer season that they'll just be running either one on both sides or even just one side.
Yeah.
So that's
Last year, that was the case with... I think they were only running Thunder last year to start the season.
yes.
But
yeah.
no, they had it all ready to go this year.
Yep. So that's already they're doing better than Six
Yeah.
Flags Great Adventure in that aspect.
Yep. What I've noticed is parks like Hershey and especially the SeaWorld Busch Gardens parks, they really they invest a lot in their maintenance backbone.
Yes.
And those parks are very, very good at, they're very proactive in what they need to do in order to keep those rides running as best as they can.
Right. Yeah.
That's something that
The reliability is it's very apparent. You can totally see the difference between Hershey and Six Flags or a SeaWorld park and Six Flags, even, Universal Disney. They, of course, probably have state-of-the-art maintenance departments, but still comparable to Six Flags. Six Flags is not doing great whatsoever.
And by the way, that doesn't just apply to Great Adventure.
Correct, yes.
If you look at Six Flags America right now, that whole park is in a...
They're having their own episode.
Hey, is Superman at Six Flags America open?
It definitely is not. If you're planning on going to Six Flags America anytime soon, don't expect to be riding Ride of Steel at all.
I do not believe they have a functional train for that ride right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's not only that, but not that anybody was probably complaining to begin with, but Mindbender is also not operational.
Mindbender or Mind Eraser?
That's what I meant. Mind Eraser is not operational at the moment.
I mean, that whole area of the park is closed.
Right.
It doesn't really apply to us in particular, but even like that children's section, what was formerly their Thomastown, now Whistle Stop Park, that no longer exists at that park.
Just overall, Six Flags, come on now. We know that Six Flags isn't necessarily the best when it comes to guest experience, right? But
if you're trying to go from being a budget chain to something a little bit more than that, you gotta throw some money at the problem.
Yes, something needs to change there. Yep. Salim, we're looking at you. I'm not gonna lie. I know a lot of people might not like the fact that we're looking at you, but I'm looking at you. I feel like this is your fault.
We're staring right at you.
Yeah.
One more point on Hershey.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think the only thing that maybe we're hurting a little bit capacity-wise is some of our rides do require a little bit more staffing to run at higher capacity.
Totally.
So right now, I believe Storm Runner is only running one half of the station.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we only got one
that has
train there.
definitely been resulting because I work towards that area of the park. I've seen myself that is kind of getting more of a backup in terms of queue length.
Yes.
Compared to other attractions. I know at least this past weekend I was working at Fahrenheit and we had maybe a 15-20 minute line on Sunday. Yeah. And Storm Runner definitely had probably close to an hour because considering that it's only on one train, you have to think about how long it takes to load the train, dispatch it, goes through the whole course, all that.
Completely spitballing here. Completely on a tangent here. I wonder if there's any like worthwhile investment. And by the way, I'm not speaking on behalf of the park when I say this. This is just merely an idea as an enthusiast.
Right, absolutely.
I wonder if there is any value in investing in that additional block behind the transfer track on Runner so they can run 2 trains, even with one station. Kind of like how King the Ka does it.
Right, yeah.
So King the Ka, if you guys are unaware, so it has kind of like, it has like the dual loading station, but there's actually 2 stations on each side. And that's how, when they were incredibly busy back in 2005 when that thing first opened, they could actually run 4 trains, dispatching 2 at a time from one side to another.
Right.
Now how they run the ride is they usually run either 2 or 3 trains. And what they do is they actually disable one half of the station. So it's front station, back station, and behind that transfer, they have a drive tire that acts as a third block.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've seen that.
Yeah. So I wonder.
I don't know how likely it would be for Hershey to try and do that.
But the thing is, like, if you think about kind of like operationally, if that, I don't know if that helps like cost wise or if there's like, you know, like, again, it's a cost benefit analysis. You have to see whether that's worth it or not. But I wonder if there's any value in that to help the capacity of that ride.
I think once it is running 2 trains, usually the crews are doing fairly decent enough to the point where it's not really like, you don't notice that it's bad enough where you would think that they might need that. But I think this might be something that we're considering since it is only running 1 train and we can kind of see that is getting backed up there, you know? Yeah.
I think once you experience parks that generally only run 1 train, Kennywood. I'm sorry. Sorry, I shouldn't say that.
Jeez, cover your mouth, man.
Or
I thought you were actually dying there for a second. I didn't even realize that it was a joke. Like as you were coughing.
Yeah, no. Once you see parks like Kennywood or even like Six Flags Darien Lake, although they did do a really good job when we were there, that typically only run 1 train and say maybe they're not having a good day operationally. It is painful sitting on station and realizing, wow, these rides could have so much better capacity if they just put in a little more work.
Right.
So. Other than that, though, I think we did a phenomenal job.
I think so too. I think compared to Six Flags, we are doing a lot better.
Oh yeah,
lot better.
Oh yeah.
So to finish out our Chocolatetown chat, we kind of wanted to implement a life hack that you guys might be able to utilize whenever you go. This really could go to any amusement park, but I think we could probably most closely relate it to Hershey using a Hersheypark example. So that's why we're going to include it within this section.
We'll do it within the scope of Hersheypark, but we'll talk about it. Well, we can apply it to other parks
It can be a wide scope of places.
Okay, so let's say you're buying a day ticket for us here at Hershey, and you want to make the most out of your day, or any park. We'll use Hershey as an example, though.
Like you would anywhere.
Yes. So whenever I go to a park, I like to kind of think about the flow of people and where people are likely going to go, right? You see a big entrance gate, you walk through it. You're probably going to look at the big shiny coaster in front of you and say, ooh, I want to ride that. That's what every kid's going to do. I know I did that. And for me, that ride was Comet. I don't know why, but it was. But nonetheless.
That would have been what it used to be prior to 2020.
Yes.
But now we have this big shiny coaster.
Big shiny coaster, yes. So kind of like the first life hack I'll say is know your crowds. Know the direction they're moving. Mm-hmm. Right now at Hershey, that's towards Candemonium. And honestly, I'd probably argue Comet and Cup Fusion are like your second targets.
There's like mainly Candemonium, obviously. That's probably like the main one that I think most people are going to look at and be like, oh, look at that. That looks super tall, fast.
Yeah.
Riding that first.
Yeah.
But also, I would say Skyrush, Comet, Cup Fusion.
So I know there's also a lot of other people that's just, hey, go to the back of the park because nobody goes there. That's kind of like, okay, tip A. We'll say 1A.
Yeah.
So 1A, the suggestion is go to the back.
Yeah.
Nobody runs to the back first. If they are, they're probably only going for the laugh track.
Yes.
We'll talk about capacity in a second. But you can hit so many things in Hershey in a short amount of time.
Definitely.
And you'd be surprised at how quickly you can.
We got like 6 rides done
In
when we went in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
That's really good.
For Hershey, yeah, that's
For
really
Hershey
good.
Park, that's great. And they were all major coasters.
Yeah. So like my strategy at Hershey, so a lot of people go to the back first if they're trying to like get the most out of their day.
Yes.
Right now with Storm Runner not being the highest capacity ride just because, we only have one train available to us and it's very popular. The strategy for me has been if it's open, hit Runner first.
Absolutely.
Runner,
I would agree.
Fahrenheit, work your way towards the back. Once you're done, scoot all the way up to the front again.
Yeah. I feel like most people who go to the park like fairly often, specifically Hershey Park, usually know this already, but Candemonium in the middle of the day, like mid-afternoon, dead. It could be literally, if it's like, let's say an hour and 30 minutes, like at the beginning of the day, it could be down to like 15, 20, 30 minutes. That's a whole hour or more that you're taking off of your wait time that you would have been waiting in the morning. That's huge. That's huge. And you don't even realize, you don't even think about that kind of stuff when you're just so excited to go into the park,
Oh,
but
yeah.
Thinking about it like in this kind of retrospect, like that's like that changes how much more stuff you could even get done during your day.
And I can say having worked Candemonium on a very busy day, we've had days where the rest of the park is slammed and we're up at Candy and we've got 6 people on our train.
Chilling.
Just vibing.
Yep.
Like, and remember, we still have 3 trains on that track, which
Right.
means, like we're
You can still be as efficient as possible.
Yeah.
With everybody who does come up there. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely think about the flow of people.
Yeah.
Another trick that's very valuable, and I mean, this kind of naturally also works just with the flow of Hershey if you do middle, back, front, but this is applicable to other parks as well. Know your ride capacity and your ride closures. Especially with capacity. Like if you think about a ride like a Wild Mouse coaster, Laugh Track kind of falls into this as well, being a spinning Wild Mouse coaster. Ours is pretty efficient, but at other parks, that is not the case. I am looking at you, Carowinds.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, oh, wait, we did talk about the Carowinds one time.
Yes,
didn't
we did. Yeah.
Dorney was the one I was thinking of, but go ahead.
I mean, I will happily shit on a Wild Mouse at the Cedar Fair Park because let's be real. Come on. That is no.
Is Apple Zapple like that?
Actually, I believe they do 2 cars at a time, so it's not as bad.
Okay.
Yeah, Apple's Apple wasn't too bad. It
Good.
was bad, but like, I mean, come
Not
on,
as bad.
they improved it. Shout out Kings of the Dominion. I love that park so much.
But like if you're going to go to Dollywood, for example,
Yeah.
you probably want to ride Mystery Mine first. That's what I see that whenever I've gone to Dollywood, that's been actually usually the ride that has the longest line. That and Fire Chaser Express, because that's a family coaster. But I would expect Big Bear Mountain to have a longer line. Along with that too, if we're going to talk about ride closures and things like that, of course, Lightning Rod is probably going to be the one that you're going to want to go to first because that thing is a piece of shit and it will go down the second you step into that queue line.
I am still admittedly afraid to go to Dollywood for the sole fact that I will likely miss Lightning Rod.
I would too. I've been to Dollywood twice, and both times that I've gone there, the first time that I got into line for Lightning Rod, it closed while I was in line. Both times.
Have you ridden it?
I have.
Okay,
Both times. I waited it out both times, and I got on it.
Oh, that's nice.
Right. Yeah. But if you're going to go to like somewhere like that, that's what I would suggest when we talk about capacity
or even reliability. We'll
and
add
reliability
that there too.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you kind of added that on when you first talked about it. So that's why I want to talk about Lightning Rod a little bit.
So and knowing your ride closures too, like that can affect the dynamic of how people traverse through the park. For example, at the beginning of Christmas Candy Lane last year at Hershey Park, we did not have Candemonium.
We did not.
And
that was like a big deal for a lot of people. Like I saw on Facebook that a lot of people were very much bitching and moaning about it.
Which, yeah, it's
understandable.
It happens, right? Yeah. However, what did that do to the line for the Super Duper Looper?
Oh my Lord. You would have thought it was a new coaster. You would have thought that it was built in 2020 like Candemonium was. Because, oh my Lord, with one train too, because it's Candy Lane. Okay, we need to start maintenance on some of the rides, so it went down to one train.
Yes.
Oh my Lord. Out to the Sky Rush, to the Comet even sometimes. Like, what in the hell? Oh my Lord.
But yeah, no. Even one ride closure can really affect the dynamics of a park. Right now, if you go to SeaWorld or Orlando, they don't have Mako right now. Mako's closed.
Is it really?
They're repainting it right now. So it's currently closed for, I don't know how long, but I think they were saying like somewhere in the month.
That's interesting.
Territory.
Yeah.
No Mako, no Journey to Atlantis right now. That's another big one too for that park. So
Wow.
right now it's not a peak season for him anyways. So like, I mean, it'll be back soon enough. Yeah. But yeah, no, dynamics of a park definitely change when you have those kinds of closures. Kennywood's like that too with Steel Curtain. If you know Steel Curtain's going to be closed, whole vibe of that park changes.
That thing's not reliable to begin with, so.
I will not say the exact number, but actually, who am I kidding? I don't work there anymore. I know by the end of 2020, it had an uptime of, I believe, 30%.
Oh my Lord.
Well, keep in mind, it didn't open in 2020. So, like, the
I don't care. 30%? Holy fuck.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh God.
Yeah, no, because what?
Shout out S&S. You guys really fucked that thing up.
Yeah, you really knocked it out of the park. Park. Sorry, the part that got knocked out was the bolt.
What? Are you having a stroke? Everybody, send all of your respects to Tino. I think he might be dying after this.
It's okay. It's okay. To sum it up, know the flow of people, know your ride capacity, hit the lower capacity stuff first because that's what's going to build lines the quickest.
Absolutely.
And then you can always hit up the busy stuff later because trust me, the busy stuff is also usually the really, really good stuff. Which
and it'll stay busy no matter how early you get there. Usually it's just going to be busy. If it's a really popular ride.
Yeah.
For example, like Steel Vengeance, that's going to be busy all day.
Although you could have a good day and hit that up in the middle of the day and it won't be too bad.
No.
You'd be surprised.
I'm not going to go on to a tangent about this, but I will fight you. I will fight you off camera about this then.
All right.
So we are running out of time, so let's go into our final segment, which is, of course, our sweet spots and bitter takes. I've been so excited for this. I've been so excited because this is something that whenever we were planning this episode, I knew exactly what I wanted to say because it makes me giddy just even thinking about it.
He's way too excited about this.
I am.
I don't know what it is though.
You do know though.
I do and I don't. I forgot. So what was it?
I have a sweet spot. Because I thought it would be good to say something nice because I totally shit on Six Flags Great Adventure. I still think you're trash, by the way. Time has passed. You're trash. Anyways, my sweet spot is about Coaster Studios. I have been addicted. I don't know what happened, but I've been so addicted to watching Coastin' Through Europe, which is his Europe vlog series. I'm like, I don't know what it is. I love the theme song. I love it so much. I don't know why. It's just a bop. Okay. I don't know if him or Sarah picked it out. But Taylor and Sarah, you did that with the theme song. Not to mention the Coastin' Down Under, their Australian one, even more of a bop. Anyways,
a little bit of a fanboy over here.
Shut up. I may have a t-shirt. I'm not embarrassed to say anymore. I have a t-shirt because you know what? He was probably, and I will still say is one of my biggest inspirations because he's kind of paved the way for media and roller coasters, the combination of the two, right? I love his cinematic style. I love the way that he films stuff. The vlog stuff is obviously a lot more informal.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's just him holding the camera up and talking about their experiences throughout their day at the parks and stuff. But I don't know. I've been enjoying it so much. Have you watched the series?
I haven't watched any of the series. I'm actually like, I know he's going to make me watch it.
And now I'm making you watch it.
Okay.
And now I'm making you watch it. Every single one. There's like 30-something episodes and you're watching all of them.
Okay. I have watched a lot of his videos though. And I mean, I think I would agree with you. Like he's been a good inspiration to a lot of content creators. And I mean, he does make good videos. I always enjoy watching a good review from him or a vlog.
Yes. Today, the day that we're filming this, he came out with top RMC coasters that he's been on, which is all of them at the moment. Yeah. I'm sure when Wildcat opens, he's going to ride that as well. But
I also did have the opportunity to meet him in person.
I've also met him in person.
I have not met Sarah. Sarah, unfortunately, was not in the
sort of.
Yeah. She was not part of Coaster Studios at the time that I met Taylor. But I actually met Taylor while I was working at the Phantoms of Revenge at Kennywood.
Wow.
It was a day Steel Curtain closed. So that was...
Got to ride Phantom instead.
Yeah.
I met Taylor at a meetup. I'm actually in one of his videos of a meetup in like 20 16?
I think you
14 or 16. It was a long time ago.
I think you need to find that clip and throw that in this video now.
Oh God, here it is.
It's been a good day to come to Hersheypark. So
That's embarrassing. It was.
Hey, you brought it up.
I did bring it up, but I had a great time there. And then he came into the park one day before the park opened to film some stuff on some of the coasters. And I was at Fahrenheit that day, and he and Sarah and a few friends were riding, and it was just kind of nice to talk a little. We talked very briefly. They were going to different rides and stuff. So, anyways, I'm going to wrap it up here. Coasting Through Europe from Coaster Studios has been my, I love it. I don't know why. Go ahead.
I think my sweet spot, since we talked a little bit about maintenance today, I think we need to give a sweet spot to our lovely maintenance department at Hersheypark.
Absolutely.
We have so many wonderful people who work at the park, whom I'm very, very bad with names, but I love all of you. I will give a shout out to our electrician, Jerry, though.
Shout out, Jerry.
We love Jerry.
Yes. Like, literally, I don't think any of our maintenance department, whether it be carpenters, electricians, whatever it may be, I don't think they realize how grateful we actually are for them and how well of a job that we think that they do.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're literally heroes. They're superheroes without capes.
And also, they're just so legitimately nice to work with.
Absolutely.
Whenever we need help with something, they are there, and they're just there and ready to help.
Yeah.
All the time. Sometimes they're even operators for us.
They are.
Yeah.
They're helpful in so many facets.
Yeah.
Besides just like doing the obvious maintenance stuff that they do. But yeah, that's a good one because they really do make the shift sometimes by like saving the day and showing up whenever there's like an operational delay or, we need them to help out with opening the rides or whatever it may be. They're there.
Did someone say maintenance guy party at the Wild Mouse?
No, nobody said that.
That's a great day.
They like the Wild Mouse. They do.
So anyways, that concludes this episode of the podcast.
Yes, we talked a little bit how much I hate Six Flags Great Adventure. Fuck you, Six Flags Great Adventure.
Shame on you, Salim.
Salim, this is your fault. This is your fault, and I'm still blaming you.
We talked about, compared to maybe the Six Flags experience, how prepared we were.
Yeah.
Hershey, let's go.
Hershey for the win.
Yes.
W. And then we ended things out with our Chocolatetown Chat, talking a little bit about a life hack, about how you can maybe make your day a little bit better and more efficient when you're at the park. And of course, our sweet spots. No bitter takes today.
Yeah.
We were very positive. So that does it for episode 4.
Yep.
Which I still can't believe we're at episode 4, by the way.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
That hit me today. I'm like, oh, wow, we're recording
It still
4.
feels like it's like number 2.
Yeah.
Like we're not at 4. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching or for listening.
Yes.
Again, make sure that you follow us on Instagram @_the_sweet_. Same thing with our Facebook, the exact same tag. And if you haven't already, go to our YouTube page and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
That way you can watch us.
Absolutely. You want to watch the madness happen.
Yeah, it's great.
You want to watch me fail at saying, fuck you, Six Flags 8 million times, even though you guys didn't see it. It did happen 8 times.
It did. I can confirm.
Yes, it did. It's embarrassing. But yeah, you should follow us. You should subscribe to us. You should do everything you need to do to support us because we're here for you.
We are.
And if I'm going to be here for you, I want you to be here for me. This is a two-way street. Okay? Just saying. Am I wrong or am I wrong?
He's actually right on this.
I am right.
He's not right very often, but he is right on this.
I am right on this. But no, thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, I'm Hunter.
I am Tino.
And this was the Sweet Sea Podcast. We'll see you guys in episode 5 in 2 weeks. Woohoo! See you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for riding along with us on the Sweet Sea Podcast.
Don't forget, we dispatch new episodes every other week.
Be sure to snag a season pass to our podcast by following us wherever you listen.